All right, Merry Christmas to all. We're gonna keep going on this guide. This will be the best Christmas present I can offer to any, well, Christmas is over, so, but a late Christmas present would be your self-managed network. And this can be a home network or it can be a network for a small business. And it's how you can control your privacy, how you can host your own internal cloud, which will be very, very helpful, I think, for a lot of people, especially and then like you can it even goes through your own your own phone system, which is incredibly useful for small businesses. So any of this could turn into its own career, really. You could just go to the biggest house on your block and say, "How's your internet?" I say it's good. I get it in my office and nowhere else. You say, well, wouldn't it be great if you got it in your garage, in your basement, all over your house? Well, there's a guide for how to do that that we just went through. You have to set up a mesh network of access points throughout the house using Ethernet cables. All right, so yeah, that this is so let's keep going on this. So where I left off, so it's a all one page, giant scrollable page. I read everything up until here, the whys. So now we're going to move on to the hows. And before I move on, I do want to give credit to the author
Hey
here,
everybody, how's it
Louis
going? Hope you're having a
Rossman,
lovely day.
big time YouTuber, 2.17 compared to my 1.00 K, which thanks for everyone who's subscribing. Um, but I'm nowhere. I got a while to go before I'm like Lewis, so a lot to learn from him in all regards. Um, um, but uh, yeah, so this guy's all about repair. He's all about owning your own gear and not paying for something like a movie and then only to read the fine print to say, even though you paid for it and thought that you owned it, we're going to delete it from your library because we actually own it and you are just like using it. It's not actually yours. The file does not actually belong to you. So those kinds of things that are very ambiguous that change after you've already bought it. Basically, this is a guy all about consumer protection, which is awesome. Consumer protection is, I think, something that is kind of in a little bit of a sad story state in the USA, which kind of shows you where my biases lie, perhaps. But I think this guide is basically one of the most valuable things I can offer on this channel. Going through this guide, a lot of the stuff I've been doing, like enterprise networking, service provider networking, JNCIESP, that kind of stuff, is not really uh, can't really appeal to the masses so much. But being consumer protection, being able to own your own files, everyone can benefit from that. So, all right. So, next section is building our own router. Let's dive into the first step, setting up pfSense on an Intel NUC to serve as your router. We'll be setting this up with OpenVPN, which is very important for connecting securely to your network. As for the hardware, I'm using an Intel NUC because it's compact, reliable, and has two Ethernet ports, which are necessary for setting up a router. One is used for your WAN internet, the other for your LAN internal network. For a pfSense router, we must choose a machine with two Ethernet ports and not one, and that's really important. And the other thing I will say about that, and this was covered before, is two is a better number than three, I would even say, or four, because you're just going to pay more for that NUC, and it's not gonna give you and what you need is you need to spend money on your switch if you want more Ethernet ports. So the guide recommends to buy a cheap $15 Ethernet switch to get more ports basically for your firewall. So that's good advice because now you're just $15 in, and you probably don't know. And I'm uh, probably maxing here, and you probably don't need those advanced features yet. Once you need those advanced features, now you can go an extra two, $3,000 into the hole, um, and you're just out that $15 you spent on that other switch, which you could probably repurpose and use somewhere else anyway. So it's a really good advice to because it keeps your network modular. So you don't buy, oh, I'm going to get the best home network ever. I have $10,000. Here we go. Here's a $50,000 this, a $20,000 that. It's like forget about it. Like if you need something for that kind of price, like yeah, go ahead. That's great. But until you need something for it, like you know, keep it get buy what you need, right? For low prices. Okay. So that's what I say to that is two Ethernet ports. You need one to connect to your modem device, which might be an all-in-one device with a router, a switch, and an access point. But the idea of this guide is you're not going to use the router, the switch, or the access point because you want everything to be behind a device with more robust with more robust security and access features than the device given to you by your internet service provider, and one that you can completely and fully manage without having any sort of uh, footprint or impact by anyone but you. So that's the whole purpose of this is you buy a separate device. And then you plug that separate device into the ISP device. And now that cable between your separate device and that ISP device is DMZ. It connects the two, and that everything you get from your ISP is completely separate to your ISP. Now, not entirely because you can log into your ISP device and make some modifications. You can see I have that here. Um, yeah, so yeah, you can always do that, but you're going to for most people this you probably don't need to follow this guide. Um, but for people who want to host services on their network, like their own sovereign cloud, this guide is not only essential, it's perhaps the only way to actually get it working effectively. Like you can open up ports on your router for sure, but it's not as secure. All right, so why use pfSense? I chose pfSense 10 years ago because one, it's open source, two, it's fast, three, it gets regular updates for security issues. Four, the parent company has paid corporate and business clients relying on their software, which is based on an open source code. And I need to change my position here. Oh, right. The developments with regards to making certain network cards work well with FreePSD get included upstream to the free versions. And let me do a sound check now that I'm in this new position. Looks good. This means that me, as a scrub who didn't pay for it, get something that is very similar to what corporate clients who are paying $10,000 or more are getting. If I mess something up with my very unusual custom setup, I can pay the developers of the software to fix it for me. This level of support is not common in many open source projects. If I want to cry uncle and pay them an annual fee, they will respond to my questions and provide me with real answers rather than tell me to go RTFM. If it comes with features like PF Blocker NG to block ads, scams, and malware at IP and DNS level with regular updates. Oh, but it looks like it might be a bit of a trap where you want more and more features and you start paying more. Oh, shoot. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, there's a lot of mixed opinions on just about anything online. All right. Well, anyway, continuing on. So, um, I use pfSense now because number one, I'm used to it. Number two, the idea of redoing my complicated setup from scratch gives me hives. C number two, in regard to becoming antiquated with the unique quirks of another open source software. So there you have it. You know that can be problematic. Like you should just use the best thing available. Um, so that's a little bit problematic in my opinion. I had very good reasons for choosing pfSense 10 years ago, and I have good reasons to use it today. That doesn't mean it's the best. Feel free to use whatever you want to use. For the purpose of this guide, I will be using pfSense. Okay, and it looks like he does say that there's another option available. We'll read about that next. There's a bit of debate between pfSense and OPNsense. Too long didn't read. The developers of pfSense are not the nicest people sometimes. If this bothers you, consider checking out OPNsense. Since I've been using pfSense for a decade, I've built much of my infrastructure around it. I am well aware of its quirks and don't feel like setting up my network from scratch. So I am using pfSense for this tutorial, regardless of the developers. You are, so regardless of the developers, you are infinitely better off using pfSense on your own hardware than standard routers. Okay, so you might be better off using OPNsense than pfSense, but regardless, pfSense is better than uh just having a regular router. So you kind of can't go wrong. You kind of can't go wrong doing this. if the alternative is to not do this. So open uh sense might be better. And I might look into that. Like, why not? Just use that instead. But let's read about the bad developers. Okay, so this is from the OpenSense team. Interesting. So let me read this whole thing. So they say Netgate slash pfSense acts in bad faith. So WIPO decides in favor of OpenSense. WIPO is World Intellectual Property Organization. Some of you may have come across opensense.com, a domain that until September 21st, 2017, was home to a controversial website with targeted content to harm our open source project, and R meaning OpenSense, because this is opensense.org is the site for OpenSense, not opensense.com. On the aforementioned date, we filed a complaint with WIPO, the World Intellectual Property Organization, to try and stop this website from being operated. Until our legal action, we were unable to determine the owner of the domains as it was registered using Domains by Proxy LLC. However, we believed the site was created by a pfSense enthusiast who had gone too far. Much to our surprise, we received an email on September 26, 2017, stating that the owner of this domain was in fact Jamie Thompson, Rubicon Communications DBA Netgate, also known for the competing PF Sense project, which this article advocates you use PF Sense, but I'm reading this to determine whether or not it makes more sense to use OpenSense. Maybe this should not have been a surprise, as ever since we created OpenSense. Yeah, I think that's how you, yeah. We have, they have tried to harm our project and aided in spreading false information, mostly done using anonymous accounts. Their aim has been to scare off new users and keep our project from Wikipedia, this way depriving others and making their own choice, from making their own choice. Their actions have been bad for the open source community as they undermine the very principles of open source. Today, we have been able to stop Netgate, and although we are glad this chapter can be closed, it does not feel like a victory at all as the time. There's some typos there. There's an extra space here, and it says as rather than at. Money and effort could have been spent, and there's another typo here. Should have been a T, spent much better. The full text of the WIPO's PO panel's decision on OpenSense.com can be found here. The content of OpenSense.com prior to our action can still be seen on the Wayback Machine, the Internet Archive. Beware, it contains shocking material. Okay, so I might learn a lesson here when it comes to making YouTube videos, but this is what's on there now. So I don't know what this company is, if they're related to OpenSense or not, but it looks like it's some kind of hardware company. Um, and then this is what that site used to look like back when there was this dispute here. So yeah, they have I won't play this. I don't know what on my other channel, my personal channel, I posted a let's see here. So look into this firewall, look at this keyboard. If you had one, you probably manage a firewall with an ours. Got thing what? high risk, low reward, network security, potential alpha status, new production, you're on the cutting edge. Features. Oh, so this is like a parody site of OpenSense saying that they ripped off PFSense, saying that they don't have support, that they're okay, their VPN service isn't any good. This is probably a dead link. They ride horses in their time off. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. So okay, so that caused legal problems. Huh, interesting. There's oh, so this redirects to opensense.org, which is interesting. Well, anyways, so that caused legal trouble, and specifically, the video that was not cached contains scenes taken from the film The Downfall, the historical war drama depicting the final 10 days of Adolf Hitler's rule over Nazi Germany, along with a comment reading from deep within the Open Sense development bunker. As Decisio, the company behind OpenSense, we have not yet decided upon further action, but ask all who read this to push back to those who try to harm our community and open source in general. As a final note, we wish to thank everyone for their overwhelming support and are proud to have witnessed the positive development of the project as a whole, rapidly growing community for the next. Okay, so I don't know. They got in a fight. It looks like the first punch was thrown by PF Sense by making that mockery side of them, and the rest is history. Okay, and this is from 2018. So let me review this one a little bit. So let me verify what I read here as well. Okay, so that was the punch thrown by the developers of PF Sense, and then this is kind of a an article about kind of who's the nicer team of developers. Okay, so this is from somebody who switched from PF Sense to OpenSense. So I think this is worth reading. Let me keep skimming it and see if I want to read the whole thing. All right, I don't want to read that whole thing. Yeah, I'm undecided. I guess I'll start with BF Sense because it's in this article, but I like how Louis Rossman gives you an alternative here because this is kind of these are pretty bad reasons. So if he had just been like, well, this is my reason, and I'm not gonna even offer an alternative, then that'd be like, oh, well, that's like not cool. But he talks about open sense, which is awesome. So I might consider using them, but I feel like this can be changed at a later time. I want to get some of the kind of permanent stuff taken care of first. And he makes a great point here. Even if you don't use the best open source tool out there, you're still way better off than if you had just used commercial products. All right, next section, choosing the right hardware. Why an Intel NUC? When searching for hardware to build a pfSense router, you'll often come across a variety of mini PCs on platforms like Amazon. However, there are several issues with these options. Number one, inconsistent quality. You'll find reputable brands like MikroTik listed alongside unknown generic stuff. I trust MikroTik. I don't trust random junk. Amazon allows random junk from unverified, untrusted vendors to show up routinely at the top of search results. Number two, unreliable reviews. Amazon's review system has known issues. Reviews from unrelated projects, for example, digital picture frames applied to air conditioners. Yikes. Yeah, and I have seen that before, especially like if the product comes in different feature sets, like they'll include the reviews for like different feature sets. All right, so vendors bribing customers for positive reviews without consequences. That one's always going to be hard to solve. Potentially fake or misleading reviews. And then the third issue with just buying any NUC you see on Amazon, regardless of whether it's Intel or not, is safety concerns. Amazon has a history of selling mislabeled or dangerous products, including incorrectly rated electrical fuses, faulty electrical crimps, litter boxes that kill cats. Ouch. Watch out for this one. There's a reason the litter robot is $1,000. Automatic litter boxes after cat dies. Wow, how did it kill her cat? I think I've seen this on Amazon before. So let's see here. Hanging. Yeah, hanging that'll get you. So it closed on her neck hard. Oh, yikes. That's horrific. I'm surprised it has like moving parts like that. I wonder what product, yeah, I wonder what product this was specifically because I would think like a robotic litter box wouldn't have like a guillotine on it. Why do you need that? Like, yeah, you just need one that like spins a little bit. Here's one for $400. Yeah, that's all you need. And really all this is like a longer fuse, it looks like. You still have to clean it yourself. I feel like a litter box isn't something that needs a lot of technology. Like you can just literally use a box and fill it with cat litter and then scoop it out like every once in a while. Throw it away. Okay, well, anyway, I'm not a cat guy. I don't have any cats or anything, so what do I know? All right, moving on. So, and the list goes on. This guide is going to be 600 plus pages when done. Do you want to do all this work only to have the primary component be a piece of junk from a website that sells cat guillotines? No. So that's a good point. And he might have be calling me out directly here because I have been thinking about buying from Discount Electronics. There's a, let's see here. So if you go there, there's micro and mini computers here. So there's an Intel NUC on here. Um, I think, but it's one that doesn't have it's one that doesn't have the ports that are needed. But this one here looks absolutely perfect. Uh, quiet, fanless, industrial mini PC, with two Ethernet ports on it. Like this looks absolutely like exactly what I need. Um, so yeah, but this is an Omni on Logic. This isn't an Intel, so I'd be going against what he said, and I might be doing that on my um, at my own peril. You can buy it new for close to $1,000. I have been had mixed experiences with Discount Electronics. I bought a big time PC from them that I'm really happy with, but then I bought like just a $50 keyboard that broke on me, and the day after I bought it, and I was too lazy to return it. So I don't even know what the return policies are now, but that was kind of frustrating. So they have wall mounts, attached to PC or wall or this. Yeah, I don't need to do that. They have discounts for buying more than one. Yeah, see, I feel like this is the way to go. I don't know. Well, Louis Rossman might tell me that's not the case. Um, but you see, I don't even need the Wi-Fi because it's just going to be a my Intel NUC, but it's not an Intel NUC, so I don't know. Well, anyway, the best alternative, repurpose an old desktop PC, which I don't have. Instead of risking your project with unknown mini PCs, which is what I'm thinking of doing, consider using an old desktop computer. Reliability. A 10 to 12-year-old desktop is likely more reliable than no-name mini PCs, which is what this is. Um, Choice of network card. Um, Desktop PCs offer PCI Express slots for additional network cards, so you can choose the network interface card for your setup. You often do not know what chipsets are used in the no-name mini PCs, yeah, which is the case here as well. It just says that it has uh, gigabit LAN RJ45s. It doesn't tell you any more information than that. Not even when in the page where you can buy it new. Well, I mean, this has it in the page where you can buy it new. Yeah, this should have everything. All right, so here's the LAN controller, and here's the chipset. There you go. So what's so bad about it? Okay, so I'm feeling better about this now because I do have all that information. Here's the so it's a Realtek. Maybe he'll talk about that. Ethernet adapter, which uses the Realtek chipset. All right, cool. So choice of network card, yeah. So likely more reliable. Desktop PCs offer PCI Express slots for additional network cards, so you can choose the network interface card for your setup. You often do not know what chipsets are used in no-name mini PCs. pfSense and other FreeBSD-based routers are sensitive to poor quality chipsets. Cost effective. You can repurpose an old desktop you already have and save money on purchasing new hardware. Choice of network card. Desktop PCs offer PCI Express slots for additional network cards, so you can choose the network interface card for your setup. You often do not know what chipsets are used in the no-name mini PCs. pfSense and other FreeBSD-based routers are sensitive to poor quality chipsets. So just like it says up there. Oh, you know what? It's actually written twice. So there's some errata. I'm an errata guy. I'm good at submitting errata. So I found some errata here. So I wonder if what I wonder if there was meant to be a fourth reason uh, that was not a duplicate. Um, because if you remove the duplicate, then now there's only four reasons. So I wonder if there was meant to be an additional reason not stated here. But anyway, the fifth reason is it's cost effective. You can repurpose an old desktop you already have and save money on purchasing new hardware. And you know what? I do have two old busted up PCs here. So I'm gonna go over and check if those have uh, cards I can pull off of them. All right. Well, it looks like I only have one. I will have this one, which doesn't have a port. All right. So I do have an old PC here with an Ethernet port. So I might be able to open this one up and take the um, card out for this one. But I think I'm better off just buying something. Well, anyway, choosing the right network interface cards. NICs. To transform your old desktop into a capable router, number one, add quality NICs. Install high quality network cards, preferably Intel based. Number two, pfSense compatibility. Check the pfSense forums for compatible chipsets and cards. Number three, examples of good NICs. An Intel X540 or an Intel 350. Let's see what I would get with this. So I would get an Intel uh, 1219-V. Not so good. So caution when purchasing NICs. Avoid Realtek at all costs. And there we go, Realtek. That's what I get for this one here. So he's basically warning me against buying this specifically. So I'm gonna close that and save the 170 bucks there. I might even be able to make one for under 100 bucks, maybe even under 50 bucks, depending on if I can get a motherboard. So avoid Realtek at all costs. Read pfSense and FreeBSD forums to learn about the issues from people who use Realtek network interface cards. Sometimes you'll get something working, but often you'll get headaches and nightmares that are not worth the cost savings. Realtek network cards are best avoided in pfSense and similar setups due to known issues with poor performance and compatibility. Intel network cards are preferable for reliability and better support in open source projects like pfSense. Note of appreciation: pfSense developers have created drivers for network interface chipsets like the 225, Citation 1, Citation 2 that didn't exist before. Intel network interface cards are known to have better performance and reliability in FreeBSD systems than Realtek chipsets. The ecosystem of open source firewalls are invested in providing support for these chipsets, providing solutions when the manufacturer doesn't. This is an excellent argument in favor of paying money for open source software. The IGC driver for the i225 Intel network chip was made available to everyone. Commercial users, non-paying users of pfSense, and other free PSD-based routers/firewalls all benefit from people paying for open source software. Top-notch programmers wrote these drivers because they were able to pay their rent and bills doing so. When you pay for open source software, you are sending a message that it makes sense for top-notch programmers to spend money developing open source code that doesn't abuse you rather than going to work for Facebook. So, number two, buy from reputable vendors. Avoid counterfeit products by purchasing from trusted sellers. There are many counterfeit cards out there. So, here's an example of one. Let's see if we can take a closer look. Image new tab. There we go. So, okay. So these are not actually Intel. They are counterfeit. Oh, you know what? Wow. Okay, this is fascinating. So let me go back to my history and let me look at this on Logic that I was thinking of getting. This non-Intel. And then let me look at the specifications. So yeah, so this is a 1219V, which a 1225V is specifically called out here. Um, yeah, so yeah, that's not good. Thanks, Lewis. I almost bought this thing. You saved me. All right. So vendors don't know the difference. Many vendors selling knockoff cards do not even know they are doing it. Wholesale liquidators operate with low profit margins while selling a wide variety of equipment and lack the time and expertise to vet all of what they sell. As a result, many vendors sell counterfeit and fake Intel network cards. Recommended seller is Art of Server on eBay. An example product is the Intel X540. So this is what he recommends that you buy if you're going to repurpose an old PC. You buy this for 60 bucks, and then you take out whatever Ethernet cards are in your old PC, and you slot this in instead. So if I were to make mine from scratch, I'd have to buy a motherboard, a power supply, a case, and this, of course. Um, so yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Well, that's the art of server on eBay. So that's where he recommends to buy from. Verify compatibility. Make sure the card fits your PC's available slots. Be wary of non-standard form factors or connectors. Hint, buying cards that are branded from server resellers is a good way to avoid fakes. For instance, uh, don't buy DiGiorno, and I think this is based on the it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. You want delivery. I think that's what is meant there. But let's see here. So don't buy DiGiorno. Help! I bought this Lenovo thinking it was PCIe. And then it comes with a very unusual connector. So, uh, so it's not PCIe. Yeah. So let's see here. So image here. It's not PCIe. It's DiGiorno. I mean ICP. Some other sort of connector. So yeah. So a weird non-standard connector that can happen. Buying used network cards and used hardware is okay. Actually, it's encouraged. It's a great way to buy better hardware than you'd otherwise be able to afford, and it avoids senseless waste. And remember, for the last few years, there's been an extreme chip shortage, so they don't have the kind of high quality gear that they used to have. It's not a given that there's always going to be better things as time goes on. However, be careful to not buy DiGiorno. There are amazing deals to be found in the used server world, but it is also a jungle ready to eat you alive if you're naive enough to believe these crazy folks have any respect for the civilized world of standardized connectors. Good vendors will be able to tell you the difference between normal hardware and DiGiorno. If they do not know the difference, you do not want to buy from them. Building a DIY pfSense router with an old desktop PC and quality Intel NICs, so that's an alternative to buying an Intel NUC, is likely to provide a more reliable and expandable solution than generic mini PCs. With a random mini PC, you get a bad network interface card, you're out of luck. Yeah, so that could happen too if I bought this one that Lewis is saving me from thinking it's a good idea to buy. Thank you, Lewis. So it could arrive with something broken, and yeah, that I have to, if I'm lucky, be able to send it back and get my money back. But then, I'm just out. But here, they verified it all. You're just buying the part, so yeah, this is good. Good value, but beware faulty ports. Part on time and not without issues. Will not okay. Well, that's annoying. All right. With your old desktop PC, you can choose the network interface card. Want 2.5 gigabit Ethernet? Get another card. Yeah, so you don't have to throw the whole thing away too if you want to upgrade. It's modular. Like that's something like people don't understand a lot is like how important modularity is. It's like if I buy this thing and then like later I do want Wi-Fi on it, I have to replace the whole damn thing. Like maybe I can open it up and just add stuff, but like if I do it with just a motherboard, a power supply, a CPU, uh, some RAM that I already have, and I already have a CPU and RAM from this old laptop. So if I just crack open my old laptop, take the CPU out and slot it into uh my other motherboard, take the RAM out, slot it into my new motherboard. Um, I can even take the Wi-Fi module out, slot it in, and then slot in my here. I could easily get, for the price of a motherboard alone and a case, um, and this thing, I have it right there. So I can easily come in under this 170 number by far, just by like repurposing some of the old equipment I already have and making like some good purchases that actually make sense to make rather than trying to buy junk from a discount store. All right. So yeah, and you could it's modular. Just get another card if you want more speeds. So if I go to my uh internet service provider and I upgrade, then all I have to do is swap out the card on mine, and I have to swap out the cards on all my gear. But they would send me a new, all-in-one device. But um, want 10 gigabit per second, get another card. Want fiber, get another card. Have a card with the wrong chipset, swap it in another card. So we are going down a 10 plus hour rabbit hole of hell, setting up all sorts of confusing, crazy Linux software. Even a 1% increase in likelihood of this being more difficult as a result of random garbage Amazon hardware isn't worth it to me for 100 to $200 in savings. I choose an Intel NUC because it has two quality NICs, and I was able to find one affordably. You do not have to buy the computer I bought to use as a router. This is your journey. Okay, so I might deviate and just buy a motherboard, a case, and a power supply, for very, very cheap, and set up my own. Um, huh. Note there is no one right way to do this as long as you use a stable quality computer with good network interface cards that the pfSense and FreeBSD community approve of. You are all set. So this is what he uses. So mini family. Oh, look at this. It comes. Oh, this is the one he's saying not to use. So yeah, there's only one port on it. Yeah, so do not use HUNSN. It doesn't work with pfSense. Yep. So he's saying you can use just about any Intel NUC. Uh, so here's the Intel NUCs on eBay. I like buying from Amazon because their return policies is really easy. You just walk over to Whole Foods and set it on the return counter, and whether or not you can return it is all taken care of in advance on the site. So you submit a return claim and then wait until it's improved. So you go right here, and then um, then you get a QR code if it's all approved, and then you just take it to the return counter at Whole Foods. They scan the code, and that's that. If the code doesn't scan, then you can't return it. So it's like it's all taken care of in advance, which I really like. And then it's really easy just take it to Whole Foods rather than to have to take it to like a UPS. Oh my God. Okay. Although UPS, it's not that hard to just take it to UPS, honestly. All right, so here's one for 209. But you have to get everything. So this is an Intel N100 GM Tech. But this might be one again, an irreputable one where they just say that it's Intel, but when you open it up, it's not actually Intel. So yeah, I think the best way is to get a motherboard, a fan, and then to dig out the CPU and RAM from my old device, and to buy that $60 one. So let's see what they have for a motherboard. So let's just look at workstations and servers. So yeah, that's out of my price range. Desktop here. Um Nothing. So yeah, where I want to go is parts. And I'm definitely gonna need a power supply. I'm definitely gonna need a motherboard. Um and aside from that, oh, you know what? I might need a hard drive. I don't know. But I've got memory from an old computer. I've got a CPU from an old computer. So this is all I would need. So it looks like power supplies can be kind of expensive. Here's one for 25 bucks. But this is a whole rabbit hole of what is the good one or not. Motherboards are super cheap, it looks like. So I just got to be careful to get a motherboard with multiple Ethernet slots on it. Uh, and then, yeah, it looks like it's kind of hard to find that. Uh, and what about this one for 20 bucks? What we got? Uh, Dell desktop, what? Oh, here's one. Oh, you know what? Here's one for 150. But oh, okay, this is what I needed to see. So yeah, this is the motherboard they're selling there. We can see, nope, this won't work. It only has one slot there. Oh, but that's fine. It doesn't have to have a slot that is native to the motherboard because you're gonna slot in that other card and get more slots that way. And by slot, I mean it doesn't have to have a this thing here, RJ45 port. I'm saying slot because I'm thinking about slotting in the actual card that we're looking at here from Art of the Server. Man, this is tricky to get the right one. All right. Well, anyways, I might need a quick break here, but man, yeah. So I guess I'm not sure how to select a Intel NUC. It looks like if you get one, it looks like it's gonna run you quite a bit, and then there's no guarantee that you're even buying the right one. So like all of these are expensive. This one looks okay, but I don't know if this would be the right one. Um, what kind did he get? He got a so these are not router mini PC. No, no, no. I guess I don't understand why this one is not no good because it's a CWWK, it's a HUNSN. So these are just known bad ones. Well, this is the one he's saying that is good. So let's see what this is. So tell me the make and model of this Intel NUC on ChatGPT. Okay, so look at this. So you get a uh, interesting. So here's so two Ethernet ports. Man, I'm in over my head already. Let's see here. Okay, so you can go with multiple options. It looks like this option here would be okay. It's just a little bit much, and the price is a bit much. And then I don't know if it's like Realtek, if it's any of that. I don't see the details on it. That one option from Discount Electronics is not okay because it's Realtek. So, huh. I wonder if just like straight up Best Buy has an Intel NUC. No, they don't have it. Uh, let's see, mini PC. Oh, now they have it. That's weird. That's super odd. The products that show up here are exactly what I'm looking for, but the products that show up here are terrible. These have nothing to do with my search, but these do. That is very strange. All right, well, I'll look at each of these. Near 1,000, forget it. Near 1,000, over 1,000, 1,000 on the nose, close to 2,000. How about no? No, okay. Well, I think the best option is to pull out some of the old stuff from my old computers and put it in a new computer that I buy for like under 100 bucks. All right, so this is a Intel NUC 13 Pro model. Or I could buy this, but let's see how much this is. I'm guessing this is like anywhere from three to $600. Oh, it's 1,000. God damn it. Ah, well, it would be a damn good, reliable router, I would say, home router, but oh, and this isn't even the right version because it only has one port. Oh my God. So it's probably like this one or one of the more expensive options. Ah, this is so weird. Yeah, this only has one jack. This isn't even right. The AI got it wrong, believe it or not. Well, that's no good. Yeah, this is what I'm guessing. This is like actually what, yeah. These are the price ranges. It's going to be well over 300. Damn. All right. So now we're going into the specific steps. So I can't really move on until I actually make a choice on what I need to buy, or I go ahead and yeah, and that includes just buying like a basic power supply, a motherboard, and harvesting out my RAM and CPU that I already have. So until I do that, there's kind of no more moving on with this guide, unfortunately. So 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 I think I'm gonna end the video here. It's at the hour mark, which is a good time. And when I come back to the series, I'll have a suitable uh, machine to build this with. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.